G'day and welcome back to another vlog for day 3 recap of the SGCS study tour. It's just after 11 o'clock. Hopefully everyone else is in bed and sleeping after another massive day for us. It began with a delicious breakfast, and then off we went to the station and we took the RER, which is like the French regional train service, out to the Palace of Versailles. So this is an absolutely massive palace complex that was built in 1661, took 1621. Took about 50 years to build. It's like some of the details may be sketchy, Google it. Regardless, it had Louis XIV, 15 and 16 living in it. Louis XIV pretty much began the project, and it took so long to build that his grandson was the final occupant, or great-grandson, I think it was. Louis XV lived for a long time and ruled for a very long time, so Louis XVI was his great-grandson, I believe, who took over the throne. What an opulent reminder of the inequality that was in France at the time. You can kind of understand the shock that the peasants living in France, in Paris, when they eventually made the trek to Versailles to get rid of the king, would have walked into some of those rooms just aghast at how much money had been spent making them just excess personified. Incredible, to see, and also very easy to understand why the French Revolution had such, gusto behind it. We went through this 14 public rooms, some of the most amazing, huge style panel artworks. The apotheosis of Hercules was my favorite, on the roof by Charles de Brun, who's Charlie Brown, if you translate it to English. Spent 3 years painting the apotheosis of Hercules, which was for the ballroom of Louis. And 3 nights a week they would have, from 6 to 10, they would have dancers in there. Good stuff. They had a music room, they had their own separate little bedrooms. Everything was very public, and very much it was kind of a palace complex where you had the king's place, then you had a whole bunch of kind of the servants' quarters, 400 people cooking food for everyone, and then you had the courtiers section, which was kind of all the royal family, and the princess section, which is the immediate royal family, and then like the courtiers were like the nobility that would spend a couple of months there trying to be as close to the Sun King as possible. So anyway, an amazing look through there, looking at the throne rooms. The Hall of Mirrors was also one of my favorites. I didn't realize it was only really kind of made up to be that special on special occasions. The rest of the time it was just a dark hallway. So they would set up, had mirrors that were in there, were the first mirrors manufactured in France at that time. They'd been imported from Italy before then. So it's set up this 73 or 75 meter long hall with mirrors kind of running along it, chandeliers, absolutely stunning. And that's where we had, that's where the Prussians forced the French to sign the end of the Franco-Prussian War, why the French hated the Germans so much. That's where the armistice was signed for the end of World War I. For that reason, the French kind of getting back at Germans and like taking Alsace-Lorraine, etc., etc., etc. A very important place in history. So that was amazing. We then went out into the gardens after a quick macaron stop. Went out to the gardens and saw these 850 hectares, the winter garden. They literally move the trees inside out of the harsh weather condition and then move them back again. Seems like a lot of effort to me, but they were very beautiful. After that, we walked back to the station, caught a couple of trains up to Montmartre and up to the kind of the Sacré-Cœur. So I went up to the cathedral. Some people paid money and took the little lift up. I personally didn't. I took the stairs along with a few other students and took the stairs up and went through the cathedral, which was amazing. Myself and someone else went up to the dome as well, which was a panoramic view of Paris. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Got my steps in today. Then we went down to the actual square, the artist square, which is Montmartre, and the students had some free time around just there, and able to look at some of the artists that were drawing and painting and caricaturing and portraiting. Had some time to shop around there for a little bit, and then went into like one of the restaurants that was there for dinner. Very nice dish of fish with some Mediterranean vegetables, and what do we have for hard-boiled eggs with mayonnaise for entree, and for those at home that are wondering, chocolate mousse for dessert. Good times. Delicious dinner, and then students just came back and had some time here, hopefully getting ready for tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to head off early, take a relatively long coach ride to some of the battlefields of the Somme. So looking at Pozieres, kind of that really important place where most Australians died in World War I on the Western Front, and looking at Villers-Bretonneux and going to the Monash Centre, that huge museum that's been built at Villers-Bretonneux to kind of commemorate the Australians that stopped the Germans in their final kind of push, Operation St. Michael. So really looking forward to that, spending the whole day there looking at the battlefields, and then coming back and having some free time around the hotel to go get some dinner as well. So all up, everyone's having a great time. Huge days, making sure that we're getting plenty of water, enjoying some great French food, getting lots of steps in, and just soaking up as much of the experience as possible. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this is a great little recap of what we've done, a reminder for the students later on, and for those parents at home that are hanging on every word, because I'm sure their kids are telling them heaps of what's going and happening. All right, signing off. Catch you tomorrow after our time at the Somme.